that kind of thinking, that kind of approach to playing, you don't hear it as much nearly when amplification started happening. And that is how to get the most sound out of a harmonica with no effects, no amps, no boxes, just playing it acoustically. Now, I know we're talking about Sonny Terry, but the two really are more related than a lot of people think. Sonny Terry is really a different approach for playing the same exact way. Sonny Terry is not really a clean single note player. He's a sound player. Because when you really look at these sort of things that he's playing, that really is not clean single notes. Clean single notes are... And Sonny Terry don't play that way. He plays... So your friend Roman is correct. Sonny Terry doesn't often play hole 6 as a clean single note. He generally plays it and includes most of hole 7. And there is that tongue block vamping, slapping, but it's a very narrow embouchure. Sonny Terry, in my opinion, played tongue blocking with a very narrow, pointy tongue. This sort of sound... That is tongue blocking using the narrow shake. So when you're hearing Sonny Terry with this... You're hearing a very small amount of tongue blocking because his tongue is very narrow and pointy, but you still can't get that kind of sound unless you're doing the tongue blocking. Sonny Terry apparently never figured out that if you open up your mouth wider and put more tongue down, you can get octaves. But you don't hear that in Sonny Terry's playing. I have never, ever heard a 4-hole octave split listening to Sonny Terry. Sometimes you can hear a narrow 3-hole split occasionally in some of his playing, which makes sense if you're playing with a very narrow pointy tongue, but not the 4-hole. So we owe the 4-hole octave split from Sonny Boy 1 more than any other player, but the narrower split from Sonny Terry. Both of the players had the control and command of playing with dirt. Dirt meaning everybody knows what a clean single note is, but if you add a little bit of the next hole, that's playing with dirt. Sonny Terry and Sonny Boy 1 were masters at adding in very small, sometimes large amounts, but they were improvising with how they use dirt in their playing. That is not something you hear modern players do. Like, for example, here's a Sonny Boy 1 phrase over the 4 chord. This sort of... You don't never hear him play it that way. You hear him play it. So he's adding in dirt much of the time when he's playing. Same thing with Sonny Terry. It's really how they blur the line from a clean single note to a chord, and they do it continuously when they're playing. I think in Sonny Terry's mind, when he's going... I think he thinks maybe he's doing something comparable to octave. Because it is a similar big sort of sound, but it's not quite the same. It definitely is very different when you compare the two. But that really is how to make sense out of Sonny Terry, where he belongs in the harmonica world, and Sonny Boy One, who had a bigger sound. He was a big sound and tone player, and a little bit less so with Sonny Terry because you don't hear the octave splits. So that's the long explanation for Sonny Terry, and you got to include Sonny Boy One because they both developed their sound before amplification was common, and that is why it's very hard to sound like them, because they were doing things that modern players don't tend to do. Modern players want to do things clean notes, clean splits. They don't want that stuff blurred together, and you hear everything blurred together with Sonny Terry and Sonny Boy One.